Hello, sports fans. Anyways, I've been applying left, right, and center to different jobs, and it's become very frustrating. Very frustrating. And obviously, I'm doing work on the side. I just polished some headlights last night for a couple of bucks. Some beer money. So we got here. A Trent mug here, 2006. And today's beer of choice is Vimy Ridge. So since we're going with the symbolism and the nonverbal communication here, I have to say that as an amateur idiot, actually I'm an expert idiot, and a failure, an obvious failure in the aircraft industry in Canada. Because obviously I'm not working right now, so that makes me a failure. Right? Excuse my attitude, frankly. But I'm justified in having my attitude. And my resentments are not just my own, right? Like I said in another video, my middle name, Edwin, that is the first name of my godfather, who was a Second World War veteran. Excuse me. And if we're going to go through the bona fides again, because not everybody watches every single video. I've been around the Canadian military and looking up to military members for almost my entire life. It was my life's ambition to become an officer, become a pilot, a fighter pilot, within the forces. And obviously I did my 7 years in cadets. So let me tell you how to do your job. Because if I have these frustrations and I have these resentments and I have access to all of this information, then, if I'm going to think about the psychology for a minute, that breeds jealousy and contempt because of the, haters going to hate, that principle. I've spent a large portion of my life learning how to research and gather information. Because, knowledge is the key to power. And regardless of what things happened, and things do happen, we make stupid choices sometimes when we're young. And, the policies and the choices of the DND have immediate effects upon the people within the service and in the reserves and anyone else. These are huge decisions. A huge responsibility, and hence my my wish that CASR, Canadian American Strategic Review, was still in place and still working, right? But they closed that down in 2016, and obviously there's others that have filled the void here, so like the Drive, and I'm looking at the Defense Post here. And the Ottawa Citizen is very, very vocal, as they should be, So what was my motivation to turn my back, so to speak, and turn down the commission package at 19? Because this is the truth. They sent me the papers. I was to fill them out after staff cadet. And okay, so just for all you people in the back there, let's pull this out. Got a little bit of a... You're going to laugh at this, most of you. At least I hope you do. I got my Jack Reacher moment here. So expired military ID. Right? I kept this. They misspelled my name. That was hilarious. And then, like, obviously, I was very tired. Very tired. So I feel for you. You know, if you're in the ranks or you're in command, and you have to deal with this fucking bullshit from the department. You know, because shit rolls downhill, as is the principle. It doesn't matter what you do. You got to deal with what you have, and Canada has this reputation of doing everything with nothing. But you know, this was one of the push factors away. Then the politics, the inter-squadron politics, the favoritism. And the hegemony of the ego, right? Because I can empathize with the officers, you know, not liking a young person telling them what to do. I understand that. You know, that's a real shot to the ego. But the thing is that young people are a lot smarter than we think they are. And hence the resistance to this rainbow identity, postmodern, postmortem, you know, the invasion of this cultural Marxism into the military and into politics, the rise of idiocracy, for the demoralization and decimation of the symbology that is masculinity and leadership, not just within the country, but within the service itself. Right? I come to these conclusions from many other people's observations and from the first-hand accounts of the veterans that I've worked with. You know, whether they speak about it or not, you can see it in their attitudes, in their demeanors. Because, you know, I myself, I don't like being around incompetent people. I don't. You know, if I ask someone if they can do it, they should be able to do it. Right? And then hence why I'm so pissed off with all these interview processes, the hoops and bureaucracy that have to be jumped through in order to have bona fides. But we live in the era of the internet, the post-internet epoch, where I have a fitness tracker, a GPS on my wrist. I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have photographic evidence going back to 2006 of almost my entire life, of where I've been, whom I've been with, and everything else. I should be able to take it for face value. But because of this virtue, you know, this accountability and transparency, that's what makes me a threat to people that are liars, cheaters, psychopaths, and sociopaths. You know, the people that want to keep their position, but don't have the skill set and don't have the respect and don't have the loyalty in order to maintain their position. When money is of a higher priority than safety, this is what we get. You know, this is how we get communism. We get China having secret police stations across the country. This is how you get espionage and infiltration and you know, the stealing and selling of government documents, or of collusion and so on and so forth. Power vacuums, all of the dynamics involved of Machiavellianism. So this has always been a complaint, the bureaucracy. And like when I applied again recently through the website here to DND, you know, in comparison to other governmental organizations, it's far behind. It's far behind. And again, to reiterate, the motivations to turn down my commission in 2004 after finishing my summer as a staff cadet and to join the CIC was because of this woke agenda. Okay, everybody in cadets already had a good understanding of boundaries and respect, but then it started becoming pushed into the foreground, and people get promoted, people get given things rather than earning them. And anyone of good constitution and good character doesn't want that to happen. And that's why so many have left. I can think of a few scenarios as to why that is. So you have attrition, and then you end up with 10,000 jobs unfilled because the budget isn't there, because of this idea by the government to tear down the iconography of what a soldier is and what an RCMP officer is, and Canadian identity in general. So this is right now we're in a time of changeover, and I'm looking at the P8 Poseidon, which is based on a 737, which I've had a lot of time inside of working on. And the same with Dash 8s. The most populous platforms in all of aviation across the world. Like, they're everywhere. So this is recent. This came out today, June 28th, 2023. The U.S. okays potential $5.9 billion P8 Poseidon aircraft sale to Canada. So 16 of them to replace the CP-140. So it'll be a good aircraft. I really think so. Just like I'm the C295, which I'm looking at here in Spanish operation, but Ireland just took them on. Which I hope they're happy with. Every platform has its challenges, but she's got some missiles on her and some rockets, or chaff dispensers, whatever, or buoy dispensers, whatever they are. We have them in Canada as a search and rescue aircraft for the replacement of the Buffalo, which there wasn't any Canadian, any clandestine replacement for it. In my opinion, the only replacement for the Buffalo is another Buffalo. So next one, this was published on June 28th. So today, updated an hour ago, talking about NATO exercise shows what defense laggards we become. That's because of the prioritization of love and compassion over respect, right? You can't have love without respect. So Air Defender 23. Next one is, of course, D&D accused of ignoring legal requirements under access to information law and release of records. Now, cadet records get shredded after 5 years of exiting the squadron. So I can understand why people don't believe, but in the age of the internet, there's so much doubt. Oh, that photo was doctored and so on and so forth. Oh, where do you get that? Get that from the used clothing store. It really is like that. There's the people that are out there like that. to discredit oneself. And I'm not being paranoid, right? I'm really not. And then we're looking at the King Air here for the Special Forces. Ken Softcom, another great platform, very well proven. United States has thousands of them. At Trenton. Anyways. So you see my frustrations here, especially after a decade within the fields, in and out of the industry, working on these commonly used aircraft. And then it feels like a push. We don't want you here. We don't want you as a person, so on and so forth. Now, this is of no personal attack to the defense minister. I got no problem with women in leadership, and she presided over all these sexual assault cases as a lawyer. But I don't know her. I don't know her very personally. Obviously, I'm sitting here in London. My preference is to have a man in the position of leadership over the defense. And that's that. The general beside her looks rather worried. And he does. So this is not a unilateral problem, because you have all of these defense contractors across Canada, and there's this thing with business, and especially at that level, the competition for such large amounts of cash, and the psychology of older people, right, who are at the end of their careers. Because I experienced this, I did, with another contractor at PAL. Right, he tried to push me out, and I had, we had perfectly set up the cabinetry in 2 sets, all the sheet metal bent up, but he didn't like it. He didn't like it too much, and it was perfect. It was perfectly fine, usable. He threw it all out, right? And then him and the other contractor, older gentleman, started talking over me instead of involving me in the project. So I know, since I have such an amateur understanding of human behavior, I know this pattern continues. I know it does. And it's not just within aviation, it's within all cultures, especially within the government, because people don't want to bow down and bow out. And they don't know when to quit and make way for the next generation. So my question is to government organizations: you tell me how I'm not qualified, and I'll show you their demonstration how I'm more than qualified, and I'm more intelligent, and I have more potential than you will ever expect someone to have. That's why I got a bone to pick. That's why I got a chip on my shoulder. Because when money, again, I'm going to reiterate, was it 2015, 2016 or something like that, a low point, where we walked into the recruiting office here in London. And then I got a call back from the captain saying that my student loan was the reason why they couldn't continue on with the application. Arse on debt. It was insulting. It broke me. It was very hard to deal with because, I didn't have the money. Why else would I walk into that recruiting office if I didn't have any other options? When we judge people for their finances, and we judge people for their behavior instead of their character, and instead of their actions, then what we're left with is decimation of the culture and our people. And then nothing gets taken care of. And then the attitude of micromanagement, or the implementation of micromanagement, and the attitude of arrogance amongst military officers and amongst even NCMs against each other. This is what happens. We lose out on the people that are best for the job. So respectfully, it's time to change things. I don't think I'm special, but I don't think I should have to fill out such a redundant process. You know how intelligence operatives were recruited in the Second World War? They didn't have a choice. They try to find the best person for the job. And if that person didn't work, they fired him. Got someone else, or they were killed, put in jail, rotting somewhere. So you're either good at something or you're not. I deserve better, and so do you. That's another reason why I'm angry about this. With the equipment, the culture, and everything else, because of neglect, and because of a lack of spending and cultural attitudes of our moment right now in 2023, in the past 10 to 15 years. Thanks for watching Bits and Bytes. I don't know what I'm going to call this one. But know that I'm out here for you too. So take care of yourself.